Appendix D of the Part 230 independent review the verification validation. The appendix provides the minimum of the requirements independent of the third party with the assessment, product safety of the verification validation, presumed that the subpart H of the subpart H I with the goal of the assessment to provide the independent evaluation of the product manufacture, utilization, safety design, during the product development for the testing phase is required for the mutually agreed with the controlling documentation standard for the applicable railroad safety program plan, product safety plan with the process or base for the development under subpart H for the product and positive train control, product development plan and positive train control safety plan for the product positive train control system developed under subpart I. The supplier may request advice for the assistant with the review and the concern with the actions identified with the paragraph C and 3G of the appendix. However, the reviewer shall not engage in any design efforts associated with the product subsystems, components in order to preserve the reviewer's independence for the maintenance of maintaining the supplier's priority right for the risk of the product. The supplier should provide with the reviewer any of all the documentation for the review, the requested tendency with any of the design of the review, the walkthrough through the reviewer determines if necessary to complete with the accomplish a third-party assessment. The reviewer may be accompanied by a representative of the FRA if necessary, the FRA judgment, and the FRA to monitor the assessment. The reviewer shall evaluate the product with the result with a safety comment with the adequacy process with which the supplier has to apply for the design and development of the product. At minimum, the reviewer shall compare with the supplier with the process with acceptable validation, verification methodology employed with such a test comparison that has been agreed previously with the FRA with the base for the analysis for the reviewer, which will identify the document and significant safety vulnerabilities is not adequate to mitigate the supplier or the user process. The finally reviewer shall evaluate the document adequacy of the railroad, the railroad RSSP, railroad system protection plan, or the proper safety plan than either document protecting the product being developed under subpart H for the project control, positive train control deployment plan, and project train control safety plan with the system being developed under subpart of this part. Or the reviewer shall analyze the hazard log with other hazard documentation for the comprehensive compliance for the applicable railroad vendor for the supplier with an industrial, national, international standard. The reviewer shall analyze the fault and tree analysis of the failure mode for the efficiency critical analysis or FEMCA and other hazardous analysis completeness correctness for the compliance for the applicable railroad vendor supplier and industrial, national, and international standards. The reviewer shall randomly select the various safety critical software, hardware, and module directed by the FRA audit to verify the requirements of the application rendered the applicable railroad vendor supplier industrial, national, and international standards. For all the number of the modules ought to be made to determine the representative of the number of the sufficient to provide sufficient confidence for all unaudited modules developed in compliance with the applicable railroad vendor for the supplier industrial, national, and international standards. The reviewer shall evaluate the component comment with a plan with the installation test procedure product with the revenue service. The reviewer shall prepare a final report of the assessment. The report shall be submitted with the railroad prior to the commitments met with the installation testing containing with at least the following information: the reviewer evaluation accuracy of the project safety plan with the case for the developed product with the subpart H for the product positive train control safety plan, products developed on the subpart I of this part, including the supplier with the myth risk estimate of the product of the supplier's confidence interval with the estimate, product vulnerabilities, potential hazards, failure with potential hazards, the operating circumstances with the reviewer felt not adequate, identify the track mitigated the corrective either by the vendor, supplier, or the railroad, a clear statement of the position all parties involved with each of the vulnerability cited of the reviewer, for identification of the documentation information for the sought for the reviewer that was denied and complete with adequate, and list of each applicable to the vendor, supplier with industrial, national, and international standard procedure process which was not followed, identification of the software, the verification validation process of the well as the hardware verification validation of the process deemed by the FRA for the product safety critical of application of the reviewer evaluation of the adequacy of these products, the method employed with the product manufacturer, the development of the safety for critical software. If deemed with the applicable to the FRA, the methodology employed with the product manufacturer developed and safe critical software, the generally accepted techniques, method by which the supplier railroad addressed the comprehensive fee of the product design with the considerably safety elements listed in paragraph D of the appendix C of this part. Appendix E, part 236, human machine interface design.